Okay, are we streaming? Just a bit of Drail Valley. Yeah, when we had the hot weather, I tried playing a game of Drail Valley and I had to give up. I gave up. It was too warm, and I got halfway up an incline. So that's where we've got. I left Drail Valley, so we'll try and start them on this incline. I've left the steam engine and the brake of locomotives I got on the incline, so we've got to try and move them on. Yeah, there's going to be another large update which they detailed on Drail Valley. It's not going to be until the end of next year, the year after maybe. See, look, that's where we left it. Alright, we've got to try and start this up again. So just got videos on the other monitor as well. We're going to try and so we got oil there. That's on. Because I left them on an incline. When oh, sorry, just looking on the other monitor now as well. What's his now? Stephen Bartlett talking to Ray Dalio again. That should be interesting. He's talked to him at least twice before on the podcast on the other monitor. Where's the other pots? There's 6 of these pots. Hello, Gary Blue. What is happening here? Well, when we had the hot weather, I did try playing some games, and I decided to just drive the locomotives around, and I had them because it was just too warm to play. It was too warm to play, so I ended up leaving them on an incline and leaving the game. And so I just want to move them off the incline. So I thought I'll try some streaming again. So no Kerbal at the moment. The E key on my keyboard is iffy tonight. I got to get a new keyboard. I can't believe E key isn't working properly. So, and I need E for Kerbal. So we're playing Drail Valley tonight because I don't use E on Drail Valley. Is my microphone on? The microphone's on. Anyway, how are you, Gary? Right, let's check steam. We've got some coal in there. We've got water in the boiler. Fair enough. Right, there's pressure there in the boiler. If we pull this up, that will increase the pressure a little bit because it closes the dampers. We've got to make sure the brakes are on, so that's down. The brakes are on. We've got air in the brake lines, and the handbrake is on. So let's take the handbrake on, but there's air in the brake lines. Still got air in it. Right, let's put a little bit of steam on there. So we've got to try and get up the hill. Oh, I was working on a mod for... oh, you're just back from holiday. Oh, nice. So you're back home? It's a good time overall. You're away for a while, were you? 2 weeks? There we go. We're going uphill. There's like ash and burnt bits coming out of the chimney. From Aberdeen at 6 o'clock, I have noticed I start my night shift at 8. Or 8 in the morning? Aberdeen. I was in Dundee at the moment. Dundee, is that where the ship is? There's is it Discovery or something? One of the exploration ships is in Dundee. Because I'd like to go and have a look at it. Is it a Dundee or a... Oh, 8 at night. In 2 hours. I've had enough sleep of you to go to 1.5 hours ago from home. Away, not to go. Oh yeah, it's like, what is it? It's 11 minutes past 12 in the morning. Sorry. So you're on your night shift now, are you? You're in work now? Where's the map? Where's the map? Where's the map? Right, we're by here, and we're going to go to the coal mine east. Yep, and playing KSP. Okay, okay, playing KSP at work. Mind you, when I was in work, I would in the breaks and time multiplayer and all. Yeah, when I was in work, in my downtime in work, I would get my tablet out and do some writing, and I'll get my sketchbooks and do some drawing. Going a bit fast, let's take some speed off. Put the brakes on a little bit. Still picking up speed. $34, $33. Yeah, these are lapped brakes, so what you do, you push it forward to put air into the lines, and you pull it back to take air out of the lines, and in the middle position it holds the current air on the lines, and so the red needle is how much air is in the lines, and the group black is like how much air is available to the brakes, and this controls the air lines, so there's the brakes on all the brakes all the way back, whereas you've got this, which is just the handbrake for the tender. And that's just... Right, take that off. And then we have a normal air brake, which is just for this locomotive. That's why there's 2 brake handles there. Slow down a bit too much. That's 80 kilometers per hour is the limit. We're only doing 20. Yeah, I got to get back to writing. Well, I don't feel comfortable writing at home. I feel comfortable when I'm got sort of different distractions around me, and like I said, when I had my tablet in work in the downtime, I would do some writing and with the tablet. And I like sitting in coffee shops and doing some writing. Do you need to add coal to the furnace? Yeah, we need to add coal. So you've got down there. Oh, yeah, you're right. That's it's a bit empty. Let's grab the shovel. No, it's shove it in there. But if we add too much coal in there, it could increase the pressure in the boiler too much, because you've got to manage the pressure in the boiler as well, because the boiler can explode in the game. Writing of what? I'm writing a light novel. I've been writing a light novel for 3 years. I've been writing a light novel. See, if the boiler pressure gets too much, like over 15, you got a pressure relief valve that's on the top that opens up, and then you start losing water, you start losing power, and if it starts going below about 9, 10, then you start losing power. I'll be back. I need a small job to do. Okay, talk to you in a bit. Okay, 60. It's the lamp. What's the time? Yeah. Close the regulator. I'm going to keep that as close as you can and bring the reverser down, because we want to try and keep as much water in the boiler as possible and use up less water by dumping it overboard. See, now we're going too fast. I'm worried about going over 30 because you can get derailed, and the speed limits change quite quickly on this track, on the map. They're building a whole new map. They are. Derail Valley is building the people behind Derail Valley. They're building a whole new map. But they're going to be an America style map and a USA style map, so they might have like rather than coal, they might have steam engines powered by wood. Which would be interesting. That'd be interesting. But what I'm worried about is they'll do a silly map like Fallout or what's it called? GTA, where it's like a real world map shrunk down. I think they should need to do something that's original. Still have landscapes based on the country where it's based, but have something original. I know there's different rules. Like this is meant to be sort of continental Europe style track, but then this is very American style, where you got the tracks on the valley gorges, on the side of gorges, but those are European style viaducts. So I think this entire first map in the game is sort of like a proof of concept when they were building the game from nothing. It's still in development. But different countries have different rules on tracks. Like here in the UK, every piece of track, every piece of rails infrastructure needs a fence around it. It's a rule in this country. I just heard the pressure relief valve go, so we're going to open the dampers, which should changes the amount of air going into the firebox. It'll change the temperature of the fire, and so we can bring the pressure down a little bit. Because if the pressure relief valves go in, it means we're losing water to the atmosphere, and we need that water just to power us along. Yeah, a lot of things with driving steam trains. You need to just manage the water, the pressure in the water. See, we're losing water there. This is a steam injector which takes water from the tender and puts it into the boiler. So we'll see that. I know we're moving around a bit, so the levels are jumping about a bit, but adding water into the boiler, then it'll actually decrease the pressure. So you see the pressure's going down, so we now bring the dampers up to try and increase the pressure. A lot of management. See why these things are driven by 2 people. You'd have one person to manage the boiler pressure and the firebox, and the other just to do the driving. Then, like you saw earlier, we've got oiling of all the running gear. And of course, one thing I'm not sure if they I know they got overheating brakes in the games, but I don't know if they've got overheating axles. Because that's the thing with steam engines like this, especially freight engines, because this is a freight engine with the 4 powered axles. And freight engines tend to have smaller wheels and more axles. And if they're on long journeys or travelling at higher speeds, they can actually overheat the axles. And the axles can warp and bend. But passenger trains and express trains tend to have less powered axles, and they tend to have larger wheels, so they don't get that problem so much. Of course, you've got to manage the air in the air brakes as well. See, some countries have vacuum brakes, some countries have air brakes, so the brakes work different. So that's another thing they may do on other games. They may have different engines, with some with vacuum brakes and some in future updates. They might have some with air brakes and some with vacuum brakes, and they might be incompatible with different rolling stock. And then we've got the reverser here. It's like with the reverser all the way forward, it puts steam into the cylinder throughout the entire stroke of the cylinder. But if you can move it back, because you remember the steam is expanding, you can move it back so it only puts steam into the cylinder a certain amount of the stroke of the cylinder. So you're not wasting steam so much, you're not wasting so much power, not wasting so much, because every piece of steam you use, that's energy gone. So it's 50, and you've got to look at the bloody line speeds as well. 50. So that's why I keep it around about 30 and rarely go over 30. Because I don't want to derail when my attention is taken elsewhere. So now we could put that all the way into the middle. We could put steam into the cylinders now, and it won't do anything because it's in the middle. Because if we put this, it puts steam into the cylinders the other way around. So that's the equivalent of reversing, and you can use that as a brake as well. So if we keep it there. Then this is the main throttle, the main regulator, and you've got these blowdowns just empty out the boiler, I think. Bell is the bell on the front. Blower is to I think it's got like a steam injector in the smoke box at the front, and it just pulls air through the boiler, I believe. Manage your speed. Like I said, these are lapped brakes where you put air into the brake lines or take air out, and in the middle holds the current air pressure in the brakes, so you can have the brakes along the whole rake partially on. at 60 so we can take those brakes off because we're well under line speed. Oh, and you can also fall out the cab just by being silly. And I've modified, because you can modify the trains as well. Like there wouldn't be a lamp up there. I stuck the hook there and stuck the clock there and the digital speed over there. And the analog speedo's down here. Oh, and a little sticky thing there so we can stick the maps. So this map I got stuck on like a magnet. Make sure everything's okay. Slowing down a bit, so put a bit of regulator on, check the reverser. Put a bit of air pressure. There's the coal mine over there. We're going to the coal mine. We'll do some shunting at the coal mine and see what jobs there are over there. 70, we're only doing 17, so we can... The brakes are all the way off, the handbrake's off. Check how much coal, yep, we could do with some more. Just a little bit, because we've got to manage the air pressure. See, the boiler pressure is down, so we can keep the damper up because the boiler pressure is down. But then putting more water into the boiler decreases the boiler pressure. Now we can increase the boiler pressure a little bit more by putting a second shovel of coal in there. And that should bring the boiler pressure up a little bit. It's going up slowly, isn't it? It's going up slowly. Not going very fast. Move the regulator open a little bit. Oh yeah, these valves don't work in game, but if this broke for any instance, these valves would open up a tap to the boiler, so that, like, you could open up the top valve, and if no water comes out of the top valve, and then you open up this one and water comes out of this, then you know what the the water level in the boiler is halfway between those. That's just in case this glass meter reading thing broke. But those valves don't do anything in game. Oh, and you got a horn as well. American style horn, is it? Because you've got different countries, got different sounds and different notes for the horns. I know a couple of steam engines in this country apparently have been fitted with American style horns for some strange reason. Then different countries have got different loading gauges. So there's a lot of countries like the United States, Europe, and UK, for instance, all got standard gauges. 4 foot 8.5 inches between the tracks. That's standard gauge. However, the loading gauge, the distance between the track and line signed objects in Europe, the States, and the UK, is different. That's why you can't use, say, American or continental European locomotives on the UK. However, UK locomotives are used all over the world. They're exported to other countries because they can fit within a smaller loading gauge. No, the older ones not used in the UK anymore are exported to other countries. I know we're not going very fast. Open up the regulator a bit more. Put some more water in the boiler. Well, when we get to the coal mine, there's a coal stave, so we can fill it with coal and water over there. Because some of the locations on the map don't have coal and water. I mean, we've always got the diesels we're pulling. That's why I pull them around. So you're putting water into the boiler now and the boiler pressure's going down. Right, now there's a downhill slope there to the coal mine, so we can reduce the regulator once we get closer there. Oh, that's another thing. Water can pool in cylinders and they can break stuff. So this control is cylinder cocks. So I'm not sure. I think if you keep it closed, like you lose less water overboard. But if pressure gets too much in cylinders, you can open up the cylinder cocks. So that opens up the cylinders to the outside world. And if you're using a lot of throttle, then you can have too much pressure in the cylinders, can break stuff. So you're going to need this open. There's a lot to think about. There's a lot to think about. Oh, and you've got the sanders as well by here. That's good. There's sanding gear, so you can put sand onto the tracks and the wheels to increase traction when you're losing traction. Right, where are we? Coal mine east. Coal mine east. Coal mine east. Is that the one? Right, so we've got like the refueling stage there. So let's check the points. We're just checking the points that we are. So the points be right. What's that? So that'll take us straight to the refueling stage. Or the maintenance track. Coal management coal can go down faster or slower depending on the temperature of the thing. So the temperature's going up. Just a shovel of coal in there, that should increase the pressure as well. So which means we'll get more power out of the cylinders. Just occasionally make sure we're not filling the cylinders with water. Okay, I got podcasts on the other monitor, so I might listen to a podcast. Right, so we're going to listen to adverts. We're going to listen to adverts. No, I'm going to click next. Okay, Stephen Bartlett and Ray Dalio. was hoping there'll be more shunting jobs, but there's only the one shunting job. There's 3 drop-offs, which is messing around with 3 drop-offs. Go to Swiss City West, couldn't we, with empty cars? Okay, right, getting tired. So we've been streaming for an hour and a half, more than an hour and a half, hour and 48 minutes. So let's do this order, let's get this order in. Completed. Lapse time or bonus time, we haven't. Okay, did we get the bonus? Yes, we did. Well done. No squirrels were harmed. Cash. Okay, the slot is ready, just to be put to sleep for the night. Handbrakes on. Reverser in neutral. Stopcocks open. Yeah, just let that burn out. The dampers open. Put water in the boiler to cool it down a bit. The pressure will be going down as water's being put into the boiler. Oh, that's good enough. That's good enough. It's parked up for the night. And drag the caboose around because we've got a bed in here. The light. Okay, I'm going to take a rest. I think it's time to stop. Oh, I'm tired. Yeah. So we've been streaming for an hour and 50 minutes. It's 1:55 in the morning and I'm going to take a rest. So Gary Blue is the only one who's been talking tonight. I probably got... Because usually when I play Drail Valley, we have one or two lurkers. So thank you. And I'll try to stream more often in future. Good night, good morning.